Do you know that some of Hollywood's biggest blockbusters have been secretly preaching from the silver screen? From superheroes soaring through the skies to unlikely heroes in small-town dramas, biblical themes tend to hide in plain sight. And let's face it, many explicitly Christian movies suffer from unrealistic dialogue, heavy-handed symbolism, and cookie-cutter characters. So many of those movies often prioritize message over storytelling, leading to what feels more like a sermon than entertainment. So today I wanted to go over a few of these films that you may or may not have noticed have biblical themes hiding in plain sight.
You suck, you jackass!
Howdy, and thank you for clicking on this video to see what this jackass has to say. I appreciate you. So with Hollywood's general lack of morals, you may find it surprising the number of films that, at their core, have religious and or biblical undertones. For me, it's fascinating that secular films tend to resonate more deeply than traditional religious movies. They're like modern-day parables telling compelling stories first, while letting the spiritual themes emerge naturally. From redemption arcs to sacrificial love, today I want to talk about some blockbusters that prove you don't need to sacrifice entertainment value to explore profound truths. Even as traditional religious identification is on the decline in America, audiences are increasingly drawn to movies that thoughtfully explore faith and spirituality. I think maybe that's because these films focus on universal themes that connect with viewers regardless of their beliefs. Themes like sacrifice, forgiveness, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. So whether you're a devoted believer or just someone who loves good storytelling, let's dive into the surprising ways Hollywood has been sneaking profound spiritual messages into your favorite movies. Coming in at number 10 is one of the more obvious on this list, but it still surprises me to go back and watch it with this knowledge in mind. I'm talking about 1999's The Matrix. Think Bible meets cyberpunk. The Matrix is essentially Sunday school in leather trench coats. Neo's our digital Jesus, complete with a resurrection scene that's slightly more high-tech than the original. Instead of walking on water, he's dodging bullets in slow motion. Same miracle energy, different aesthetic. The biblical parallels are everywhere. Morpheus plays John the Baptist, but with better sunglasses. Cypher is clearly Judas, minus the 30 pieces of silver, but plus some virtual steak. And Agent Smith is basically Satan in a suit and earpiece. Even the red pill or blue pill choice is like the ultimate choose this day whom you will serve moment, just with better special effects. The whole humans trapped in a fake world thing, that's basically original sin with computer code. And while Jesus said the truth will set you free, Neo demonstrates this by literally kung fu fighting his way to spiritual enlightenment. Whether you're a theology buff or just someone who enjoys watching Keanu Reeves look confused while saving humanity, The Matrix delivers. It's the perfect blend of deep spiritual meaning and things go boom, proving that you can absolutely mix scripture with spectacular stunts and still get a masterpiece. Just remember, there is no spoon, but there are plenty of biblical Easter eggs to hunt for between the action sequences. And if you're in the mood to follow the rabbit even further, the subsequent sequels delve even further into blatant biblical themes and parables. And at number 9 is essentially Jesus in a cape superhero movie, 2013's Man of Steel. If Zack Snyder's known for anything, it's subtlety, and Man of Steel is no exception.
Play it subtle.
You may never have thought about it this way, but this movie is like a Bible study with explosions and spandex. First off, let's talk about our boy Kal-El, aka Clark Kent, aka Superman. He's the ultimate Christ figure in this movie. So here's the correlation checklist. He's born special. He's the first natural birth on Krypton in centuries. Sound familiar? Think Jesus' divine birth. Sent away for protection, just like Moses in a basket, Superman sent off in a spaceship to save his life. Starts his ministry at 33. Yep, our boy Supes begins his journey at the same age Jesus was crucified. It's obviously just a coincidence.
Subtle.
There's also some more subtle biblical symbolism when it comes to the character connections, like Jonathan Kent. He's basically Joseph, the adoptive father, who raises Clark to be humble and selfless. And then we have General Zod. This guy's a villain mashup. He's Herod, Pharaoh, and Satan all rolled into one. And then there's Jor-El. He's the Holy Spirit, being a guiding force from beyond. And of course, there's more of that Snyder subtle visual symbolism, like the church scene, with Superman chilling with Jesus in a stained glass window. It's like the ultimate divine selfie.
Subtle.
There's the crucifixion poses. Soup strikes a few poses straight out of a crucifixion scene showing his willingness to sacrifice himself. And then there's the stable. His ship lands in a stable, one donkey short of a nativity scene. Man of Steel's perfect for both the Bible study crowd and action fans. You get deep spiritual metaphors if you want them, or you can just enjoy watching a guy in blue tights save the world. Think of it as the ultimate bring your pastor to movie night film where everyone walks away happy and nobody has to feel guilty about enjoying the explosions. Coming in at number 8 is where God's mysterious ways involve cornfield construction instead of ark building. I'm talking about 1989's Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams is essentially the Bible with baseball bats. Ray, played by Kevin Costner, gets the burning bush treatment via a whispered, "If you build, he will come." Though thankfully, his cornfield doesn't actually burst into flames. Like biblical prophets of old, he follows divine GPS directions that make absolutely no sense to anyone else. I mean, destroying your livelihood to build a baseball field? That's faith with a capital F, and possibly a side of crazy. Dr. Graham's sacrifice to save Ray's daughter mirrors biblical healing narratives, particularly echoing Jesus' healing of Jairus' daughter, which is the theme of sacrificial love that runs throughout the story. It's got everything a good biblical story needs: mysterious voices, impossible tasks, redemption, and even a sort of baseball purgatory, but the way more fun than the regular kind. The film manages to turn Iowa into a slice of heaven, which, let's be honest, is a miracle in and of itself. Perfect for both the Sunday sermon crowd and baseball fans. It's like a Bible study wrapped in a sports movie. So while Moses parted the Red Sea, Ray parts his cornfield. Different times, different miracles. At number 7's 1981's winner for Best Picture, Chariots of Fire. This movie masterfully weaves biblical themes into a true story of athletic excellence, creating one of cinema's most profound explorations of faith and purpose. The film's title comes from William Blake's poem Jerusalem, inspired by the biblical passage in 2 Kings where Elisha sees chariots of fire surrounding him, a powerful symbol of God's protection and presence. Eric Liddell delivers a stirring sermon from Isaiah 40, which perfectly encapsulates the film's themes. Liddell's famous quote captures the film's central message: "I believe God made me for a purpose, but he also made me fast, and when I run, I feel his pleasure." This beautifully illustrates how natural talents can be used for God's glory. When Liddell refuses to run on Sunday despite immense pressure, he demonstrates unwavering faith in his principles. This mirrors Daniel's stand against compromising his beliefs even in the face of authority. So if you watch this, look for these 3 things: the contrast between Abraham's running to prove his worth and Liddell's running as an expression of faith, the visual symbolism of running as a spiritual journey, the theme of personal conviction versus worldly pressure. Chariots of Fire is perfect for believers who love a good sermon and sports fans who enjoy a plot twist. It's less about the gold medals and more about finding purpose in the daily grind, or sprint. Just remember, in this race, the finish line's not in the stadium, it's in the heart. At number 6 has many articles written about it, and I think it's a little bit of a controversial take, but the stark similarities really resonate with me. I'm talking about 2008's Gran Torino. Gran Torino's a film with themes of redemption, sacrifice, and transformation, making it an intriguing study in biblical parallels. Think Dirty Harry Goes to Sunday School, but with more racial slurs and a lot less 44 Magnum. I like to look at Gran Torino like a Bible story. If Moses had a Ford Torino instead of a staff and a serious case of grumpiness. Walt Kowalski, our Clint Eastwood heroes, basically the grumpy Old Testament version of Jesus in this. Walt throws out some divine wisdom. I lay down my life for the sheep in true John 10:15 fashion. And let's not forget John 15:13, greater love hath no man than this, which sums up his final act better than any flashback montage. So if you watch this movie, here's a few moments from it that highlight its biblical correlation. Walt's character arc from sourpuss to sacrificial lamb. The Christian imagery in his final moments, like he's auditioning for the crucifixion scene in a church play. The film's take on honor. Walt's medals are like his crown of thorns, but shinier. Gran Torino is the perfect redemption and transformation narrative arc movie about a crotchety old man finding purpose in a community he initially despises. It's a film that challenges viewers to consider the transformative power of understanding, forgiveness, and the ultimate act of love. Number 5 is a deeply biblical biblical film that explores themes of love, sacrifice, redemption, and the complex relationship between faith, politics, and mission work. 1986's The Mission. Side note, the score absolutely slaps in this film. Top 10 all time. Anyway, The Mission serves up a spiritual feast with a side of jungle adventure. Mendoza's transformation from ruthless slave trader to devoted missionary serves as a powerful testament to redemption. His grueling climb up the falls with his armor becomes a visible symbol of penance and spiritual rebirth. Father Gabriel, meanwhile, demonstrates Christ-like love through peaceful resistance even in the face of certain destruction. The film weaves biblical themes throughout. Mendoza's path to redemption echoes Paul's conversion. Father Gabriel's unwavering faith despite impossible odds. The contrast between peaceful resistance and armed defense. And how love transcends cultural and linguistic barriers. The Mission's perfect for both believers seeking spiritual depth and anyone who appreciates masterful storytelling about human transformation. This film asks profound questions about faith, duty, and what it truly means to love your neighbor, even when that love demands the ultimate sacrifice. Coming in at number 4 is a movie that absolutely needs to be on this list or it just wouldn't be complete. I'm talking about 2005's The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I like to think of Narnia as the gospel according to talking animals. C.S. Lewis, a former atheist turned Christian, crafted a masterful tale where biblical themes dance with fantasy elements. Aslan is essentially Jesus with a magnificent mane, sacrificing himself for Edmund, humanity's stand-in, coming back to life,
Oh, spoiler alert.
and bringing life into stone statues like God breathed life into Adam. Meanwhile, the White Witch is basically Satan with better fashion sense, using Turkish delight instead of forbidden fruit. The whole eternal winter without Christmas, that's life without Christ. The Stone Table? Think 10 Commandments meets Calvary. Even the professor's wardrobe serves as a gateway to salvation. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe's perfect for both Sunday school teachers and fantasy lovers. It's a tale that works whether you're in it for the biblical parallels or just enjoy watching beavers make dinner conversation. Lewis managed to pack theology into a children's story so smoothly that even atheists find themselves cheering for the lion. At number 3, think of Mad Max meets Moses in a world where the good book is the last good thing left, as in 2010's The Book of Eli. The Book of Eli follows a divinely guided warrior carrying the last Bible through a wasteland where faith is as scarce as clean water. Eli literally walks by faith, not by sight, and boy does the phrase pack a punch when you learn the twist.
No spoilers.
He's got divine protection that makes bulletproof vests look obsolete and a mission that would make any biblical prophet proud. If you put this on, keep your eyes peeled for how Eli transfers from Bible bodyguard to living testament. The ironic play between physical and spiritual sight, those how did he survive that moments that hint at divine protection. This film works on multiple levels. For believers, there's a profound exploration of faith, divine guidance, and biblical principles. For general audiences, this is a compelling post-apocalyptic action film with deeper meaning. The genius of the Book of Eli lies in its ability to blend serious theological themes with engaging storytelling, making it accessible to viewers regardless of their religious background. It challenges audiences to consider the difference between merely preserving faith and truly living it. At number 2 is an incredible true story of a brave dude who went to war armed with nothing but bandages and unshakable faith. 2016's Hacksaw Ridge. The film opens with Isaiah 40:28 through 31, setting its spiritual foundation. Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. The movie tells the story of Desmond Doss, a World War II medic who refused to carry a weapon due to his religious convictions, yet saved 75 men during the Battle of Okinawa. Andrew Garfield nails it as Doss, bringing both gentle faith and steel spine conviction to the role. Hugo Weaving provides depth as the tormented father, and Vince Vaughn balances humor and pathos as the drill sergeant. Mel Gibson directs the heck out of this thing, crafting some of the most harrowing war sequences since Saving Private Ryan. The production values authentically recreate both Virginia and war-torn Okinawa, and the minimal use of CGI adds to the visceral reality of the combat scenes. Some of the biblical themes of this film show the contrast between violence and healing, moments of divine protection during battle, and the transformation of those who initially persecuted Doss, and the power of prayer throughout this narrative. I think Hacksaw Ridge is perfect for both believers and general audiences. It's a great movie. It demonstrates how faith can manifest in action without preaching. It's a masterful blend of spiritual conviction and compelling storytelling that proves heroism doesn't require taking lives to save them. And last but not least, coming in at number 1 is one complete story, but it took 3 movies to get get us there. I'm talking about the incomparable The Lord of the Rings trilogy. The Lord of the Rings trilogy follows Frodo Baggins' journey to destroy the One Ring in Mount Doom while evil forces seek to reclaim it. As a profoundly Catholic work, it masterfully weaves biblical themes into an epic fantasy narrative. The Christ figures are everywhere. Frodo carries his cross, aka the ring. Gandalf pulls a resurrection move that would make Easter proud, and Aragorn is basically Jesus returning as king. Meanwhile, the ring itself represents sin's corrupting power. The elvish bread symbolizes the Eucharist, and the Steward of Gondor represents the Pope's role until Christ's return. Peter Jackson and company created something miraculous here. The performances soar, especially Andy Serkis making CGI Oscar-worthy. The New Zealand landscapes feel like Eden before the fall, and Howard Shore's score sounds like what angels probably hear on their coffee breaks. The themes of this story are fairly clear as well, such as the clear battle between good and evil and the importance of sacrifice and redemption. There are many spiritual elements, such as the journey of carrying burdens, moments of divine intervention, and the power of fellowship and community. The Lord of the Rings is just one of the best stories ever told that is perfect for believers and general audiences. It's a trilogy that demonstrates how faith-based themes can enhance rather than diminish storytelling. Tolkien created a work that's fundamentally religious without being preachy, making it accessible to all viewers while maintaining deep spiritual significance. Movies are more than just entertainment, they're a mirror reflecting our deepest human experiences, our struggles, and our hope for something greater. These biblical themes aren't just random coincidences, they're echoes of a larger narrative that resonates across cultures and generations. Whether you're a film buff, a spiritual seeker, or just someone who loves a good story, these movies invite us to see the world a little differently. They remind us that meaning can be found in the most unexpected places, sometimes right in the middle of a summer blockbuster. If you like what you've seen here and want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I also have just a slew of reviews of all the latest movies on the short section of my YouTube page, so be sure to check those out when you get a chance. As always, the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone, but what do I know? I'm but a mere jackass. I'll try to do better next time. Catch you later, friends.
That talks too much. I'm just a jackass of all trades. Don't know shit. I'll keep on talking, acting like I'm so legit. From politics to